Like I said I'm talking about Meghan, and I listened to the interview. He said everything he did was that he's not he's standing on the shoulder of the giants, standing on the shoulder of people like Nelson Mandela. He's standing on the shoulder of people of giant who know that they were not they should not give up on their people until it was time. They held their own, and I want to be able to go down in history like Meghan. And like I said a while ago, I said, if it happens, or let me rephrase it, I don't need security detail like everybody who are in the limelight. Because there is no how to do after you go into politics, which I told you yesterday I'm not going into. A lot of people now, the only thing they can as soon as you step out of the kunkun, which I have just currently started doing now, I've started doing that. I stepped out of nowhere and I said, okay, I'm going to be putting my neck on the block. Matter of fact, it scared the living hell out of my loved ones in Nigeria because they believe that why would I be like that? I may trip over myself. So what they're saying was that I should now, will buy you a ticket. Will give you a car. Will give you a house. Will give you a job. I mean, I don't think the only people that were doing that for people were going to be somebody like one of my sidekick who was the ex-governor whose father was a billionaire. Sent all his children abroad and pay all their school fees and bring them back. Only when they get back there, they become what you call they run into offices and become governor. That's very common all over the world where people, rich people, do that for their own kids, even when the kids are nicking poop. Their kids are nicking poop. And what I mean by nicking poop is that they have the same disposition that I have. So let's say they have attention deficit disorder. There was a guy called Simon. I'm bringing that in now. Simon is a guy that he's a mathematician. And he came out of New York. He hired a lot of mathematicians to help to write a new algorithm for the New York Stock Exchange. For one reason or the other, his son was having a mental breakdown. So what he did was the son climbed one of those big high-riser and was going to jump. They called his father, and the father went in and put a lot of doctors to advance the situation. And then he went in, the father now went in and put money into mental health. He has almost put $1 billion in there right now. The guy must have been at the verge of dying right now because he's pretty old. The reason I'm bringing that up is that a lot of rich people are privileged. A lot of white people are privileged. And they are the ones that are in the forefront that you can't reach them. If you can't meet them, you can't reach them, beat them. You can't beat them, you can't even get to these people. They are afloat, they are afar, they are very far away. You can't touch them. It's not different from somebody like Bezos, who when deliberately he had that when the last, when Queen Elizabeth passed away, a professor, a Nigerian professor in the United States here, said that the 70 years when Queen Elizabeth was in power, she has never taken anything away to change the dynamic of racism in the world. To the point, even somebody like the daughter-in-law, the son said, even had a point where they were even saying that we don't know the gray color of the kid that you're going to have here. The woman almost went to start committing, almost by herself. So I'm bringing all this thing together now, and I talked about Simon now. I'm talking about what he did for his son. I also brought in the fact that Bezos himself then went off on that professor after that. She's not supposed to say what he said. But who are you, Bezos, to probably start questioning the audacity of somebody who is well learned like that, who said that his homeland, which is Biafra, would have been the next Japan if somebody like Queen Elizabeth has reversed the cause of racism in the world, because of the fact that they were the one that backed the accord. I think it's called Aburi Accord, where they backed the Muslim, then asked the Russians to start supplying ammunition. On the long run, they destroyed Biafra. Those Biafra have risen up now. After they did all that damage to them, according to McCain, if the war was between the federal government and the Nigeria, it would have been a win-win situation for the Biafra. But because of the external invasion, even though the recording came about 3 years ago, even though Meghan has now proposed that the House of the Lord should help to advance his release out of jail. The reason why they are leaving him out of jail there, I don't think, is that why would somebody like Square, I'm putting that now as a characteristic moment, don't want to touch that issue there. I know what they're doing. They are scared of him because they want to. I don't know why people do that. I know why they're doing it, but does it really have to be so, where people are living for the truth, and as such you want to destroy them because they're standing for the truth? So Meghan, based on my interview today that I heard from him, which was recorded about 3 years ago, is a giant, and he was sitting on the shoulder of giants of people like Odumegu Ojukwu, which he said he even had discussed with while he was in London. I don't have those privilege that all the people are talking about now have, but you don't need that I don't need that privilege. I'm glad I did not go there to go and start taking medication for my attention deficit disorder, which I personally addressed and dealt with on my own term by suffering through it and working my tail off, working 24 hours a day, 7 days a day, to the point where in the past 6 weeks, where I'm always there. My back is always against the wall from birth. And I would have it against the wall like that, and I would walk it through, and I would walk to the Kings at different junctions. It doesn't matter. The one I'm just going through now, which is past 6 weeks, I wasn't working. I'm getting ready to get evicted. I'm dealing with it because I did not have my credit card, my bank card to even eat. So what I'm eating is the food that I stored into my refrigerator 15 years ago. I brought them out of the refrigerator and I would then warm it up and eat it. There's a moment of silence there that I'm eating something that is 15 years old. I didn't have the money. I got the bank card now. I can go draw some money in. What I want to pull off, which is my, what do you call them, the Amazon, they're telling me no. You want to go in, you have to go in with the entire money, which is going to be $400. And I was telling them no. Can I just deposit a few dollars with you now so that we can get it kicked off? I said no. They are quoting me $1,500 because that's which is with the copyrights. So I'm sitting on different ligaments of. I have a photographer that can give me a better background in my YouTube and in my podcast coming forward that I already had a meeting with. I can't pay him. My post office box is locked up. I mean, I can have somebody in February to do some of my work